Blog Talk Radio.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Red Light Sports Ramble, presented by the Red Light Sports Network. I am Troy Otradovic, as always, joined by the wonderful Evan Watallison out in the great state of Wisconsin. Evan, yesterday was Selection Sunday for the NCAA. Badger fans were holding their breath. I think they got a little love from the committee, getting a number 2 seed. There was some free agency action, not a lot going on over the weekend, but we're going to kind of put that aside for tomorrow, which is Packer Tuesday. Today we are going to actually do a live bracket on the Red Light Sports Ramble. We are going to fill out one bracket for our bracket challenge, the RLSN challenge on CBSSports.com. I've tweeted out the link a number of times. We're going to fill that out. And the winner of the bracket challenge, Evan, gets to co-host with us one day on one episode. Maybe that's why nobody's joined yet.
Ooh. Maybe.
No, maybe nobody wants to come on the show and co-host with us. But, I think that's a pretty neat prize. They can come on and co-host with us. They can talk with the wonderful Evan Watallison. They can talk with the idiot with an opinion for Troy. And we can move forward from there. But what'd you think of the 4 number 1 seeds, Evan? I know there was a little Twitter stuff going on before. I had thought before it went out, I said Florida, Virginia, Wichita State, and I thought Louisville was going to get the other number 1, but Arizona slid into the other number 1 that I thought was going to be reserved for Louisville. And I saw you had tweeted out after Michigan State won that you thought they might jump up to a number 1. So what'd you think of the 4 number 1s?
Yeah, I was surprised, to be honest, that Virginia got it. Yeah, I know Virginia won both the regular season and the conference tournament in the ACC. I get that. But I was a little surprised that Michigan State didn't get more credit for what they did in the Big Ten tournament, and now that they're finally a healthy team. You know, that's where Michigan State struggled earlier in the year, is they weren't healthy. And when healthy, in my opinion, they're the best team in the country. And they showed that in the Big Ten tournament when they even though Wisconsin ended up making a bit of a game of it at the end, they put a whooping on Wisconsin and they put a whooping on Michigan. I was quite surprised that, and that kind of shows you that, you know, like the Big Ten, not the Big Ten, but the NCAA Selection Committee already pretty much has everything wrapped up before the conclusion of the Big Ten championship game. Because if they wouldn't have had everything wrapped up, I think Wisconsin drops to a 3 or a 4, and Michigan State jumps up to, at worst, a 2. But I think they deserve a 1, and I was quite surprised they didn't get that 1. But all the other number 1s, as much as I don't think Wichita State deserves a number 1 seed, it doesn't surprise me, but I'm happy with what they decided.
Well, I'll tell you what, Evan. If we go back to when we were talking, at that time, the way things were playing out, there was a lot of other very strong teams in there. The Arizonas, the Dukes, the Syracuse, they were playing good basketball. As we got to the end of the season, the committee had no choice but to make Wichita State a number 1 now because everyone else was losing. That's why yesterday I thought Virginia was going to get a number 1 seed because everyone else was losing. And so that's why I had went that way. And Arizona, of all the teams that lost, was the best of those teams that had lost a first-round game in their tournament or didn't advance in their tournament. So when I look at it, Wichita State, with everybody else losing, now they're in, and there's no controversy. There's none whatsoever now that they're a number 1 seed because of all the other losses that went on in the NCAA. Now, the 2 seeds that I'm scratching my head about, Louisville at 4 and Michigan State at 4. Scratching my head. I have no idea. But like you said, I think they've already had everything predetermined, which leads me to this question. Do you think the Big Ten should move their tournament time or even move their tournament up to try to get the tournament done maybe Saturday night.
I laugh at you say that because I've been thinking, I was thinking about that last night after before my show, The Walking Dead, started, the show I watch every Sunday night at 8 Central. Before that show started, and then afterwards, and today I'm thinking, the Big Ten got holes. Michigan State a 4. They should have had at least 3 number 2s, if not a number 1 in there too. And I was just thinking that they have to, they should think about moving their tournament and starting it on Wednesday and having it done Saturday or having it done earlier on Sunday. Now, I don't know what issues with the TV goes into it, but yeah, the Big Ten definitely should look into that.
Yeah, I mean, it is funny how we think on the same page. That's why we're hosting the darn show, Evan. That's why we get along so well. And that's why it's going to be fun today. Because there's no way we're agreeing on every single one of these picks in the bracket. There's no way. If we do, I may just have to be honest, if we agree on every single pick, I will run around outside without a coat on for 5 miles.
And you might lie about one of your picks just so we disagree.
I'm just saying, there's no way of all these picks that we can think alike. Yeah. But overall philosophy, we're usually right on. So as we get into it, we got the overall number 1 Florida. We knew that was coming down. Then you got Virginia, Arizona, Wichita State. So let's start in the South, Evan. You got Florida as the number 1 against Albany. I would imagine that as we fill out our Red Light Sports Network bracket for our bracket challenge, that is a pretty unanimous. We're going to pick Florida to win that one, unless you think one of those play-in teams is going to win.
No, it'd be Florida. I don't see this being the year 16 upsets to 1.
Yeah, not that one. Not that one. Now here's a game where we could disagree right off the bat. Colorado Pittsburgh, an 8 versus 9 seed. What do you think there?
I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be closer than most people think, but I think I'm kind of going back and forth on this one. I haven't filled out a bracket yet. This is my first bracket that I'm filling out from start to finish. I did do 1250's contest that they have, but you do it round by round. But with them, I picked Colorado, and I think I'm going to stick with Colorado.
I was wavering on this one, so I can get, since this is our show one that we're putting on the bracket, I'll probably go with Pittsburgh in my individual one. But this is one of those games, or one of those picks where I could literally take a coin and go with either, because being in Pittsburgh, I know the inconsistency that Pittsburgh has. They have a hard time down the stretch being able to pull out victories. They should have beat Syracuse. They should have beat Virginia. There's a lot of should-haves in Pittsburgh. And so, I'm okay with the show going with your pick at Colorado. I'll probably take Pittsburgh in my individual one. I'm not sure yet. Like you, I have not filled out any brackets. I've looked at them, but I've not made any actual official predictions. So this is my first prediction right now as we're live on the radio. But I'll go with Colorado for the ramble, for the network. I'm okay with that. How about VCU and SF Austin, 5 versus 12?
Well, every year you have a 12 upset of 5. And SF Austin, looking at their record, they finished here 31-2. But I don't know exactly who they play. I don't know their schedule that well. It's just their second NCAA appearance, and first since 2009. They're in the Southland Conference. Now, I don't know a ton about the Southland Conference, but I do know VCU is well coached, and I don't think this is going to be the 12 upsetting the 5. I got VCU. Yeah,
I'm with you there. VCU is playing some good basketball right now, too. As much as the 31-2 record looks impressive, I don't see that 12 taking over the 5 this year. So I'm with you on that one. UCLA and Tulsa, 4 versus 13. What do you think there?
UCLA. Yeah. I don't have to explain that one.
Yeah, we don't even need to explain that one. 6-11, Ohio State from the Big Ten versus Dayton, number 11. Where are we going there?
I'll go Ohio State, and I say Ohio State because the 12th-year senior, Aaron Kraft, is going to have a big game.
I don't even have to say anything. I just think Ohio State, having the Big Ten schedule against a Dayton team, an okay Dayton team at 23-10, but I don't think they have enough firepower to hang with Ohio State. Moving right along, Syracuse, a 3 against.
I just felt like saying plus your senior. That's why I wanted to explain a little bit.
you're just. Have you been tipping the bottle already on St. Patty's Day over there, or what?
Hey, as a Wisconsin fan, it seems like Aaron Kraft has been at Ohio State for at least a decade.
Yeah, it seems that way, doesn't it? It seems like he's been there a long time. Syracuse, Western Michigan, bud, 3-14.
Syracuse still with this one. Win this one running away.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so we get to our first 7-10 matchup. These are usually the good ones. These are the ones that can make or break a lot of brackets. In the South, the 7 is New Mexico. The 10 is Stanford. Where are you going on this one, buddy?
Looking at it, I would have to go Stanford. I think Stanford pulled up the upset and gets the win. They're tested in the Pac-12 with the likes of Oregon and UCLA and Arizona and Colorado. What do all those teams have in common? They're all in the tournament.
So we're going to disagree, so we got to figure out which way we're going to go on this one. I think it's going to be a close game. I just think Stanford has a little bit of inconsistency. This is a Stanford team that Pitt actually beat pretty handily, and that's why when I look at it, I don't think they're going to beat New Mexico. So I have New Mexico, you have Stanford. How do we want to go for the show? I'll let you decide. Either way, this is the show one, not our individual one. So I made the executive decision on the Colorado-Pittsburgh. I went with Colorado. I'll let you make the executive decision on this one because it doesn't affect the next round. So
you can go with yours.
Go with New Mexico. But just so the fans know, yeah. I have New Mexico. Evan has Stanford. But as the show goes, we're picking New Mexico.
Yep. See, the one that my individual one for the show pool, I'm actually I'm filling out as we're doing that.
And I should take a little bit of notes from you and do that myself. Kansas, Eastern Kentucky, Evan, 2 versus 15. You think a 15 can beat a number 2?
Not this pairing. Kansas wins easily.
Yeah, not in this one. Let's move down into the East End. Virginia, the team that kind of snuck in by winning the ACC tournament into a number 1 seed with everyone else losing, plays Coastal Carolina. You think a 16 can take down Virginia?
Nope.
Yeah,
Virginia wins.
Yeah, me either.
They're going to play Tony Bennett basketball, which is similar to Dick Bennett basketball, and win the game.
Memphis, George Washington, 8-9, buddy. 8-9. Where are we going here?
This is one that can go. This is one that can go either way, but I think George Washington, bit of the mini upset.
Yeah, and like you said, though, I'm not sure if it's such a mini upset. I mean, I don't think a lot of people know George Washington, but they've got a very good program. And I'm right there with you, bud. I had George Washington in that one. And I don't really think it's an upset. You look at them, they've always got a pretty solid team, and they play very competitive basketball. So I think they take down Memphis. Cincinnati, Harvard, 5 versus 12. That pesky Harvard team that always seems to give teams a fit in the tournament, playing Cincinnati. Which way are you going here, bud?
Tommy Armaker and Harvard gets the win. Former Michigan coach.
Going with the 5-12 upset here. Wow.
Yep. There's always one, at least one.
That's not the one I had. So let me think about this. What do you think it is about this game, Evan?
I gave you the last two.
Well, convince me on this one. Why Harvard's going to upset Cincinnati?
Well, Harvard has, it's their third straight season making the NCAA tournament. They're experienced in the tournament. They're well coached. They beat Green Bay earlier this year. They beat Boston, and like I said, they're well coached and they're balanced. And I think their defense, even though Cincinnati's got a pretty solid defense themselves, but I think their defense ends up shutting down Cincinnati, and Harvard gets the win.
Well, I'll put Harvard in the
pushover.
I'll put Harvard in the bracket because, like you, I look at these 5-12s and I look at the 6-11s because I see upsets possible in some of those. This isn't the one I had, but again, I don't have my official bracket in. Doesn't mean that I might not show Harvard on my bracket somewhere down the line. Michigan State, Delaware, I think we're pretty unanimous on who's going to win this one, bud. I don't see Michigan State getting upset. Yeah. Do you?
No.
No. North Carolina, Providence, 6-11.
See, North Carolina's weird. They've lost to Belmont and they lost to UAB, but they beat Louisville, they beat Duke, they beat Kentucky, they beat Michigan State, all teams in the NCAA tournament. Louisville 4, Michigan State 4, Kentucky is an 8, and Duke, I think they're a 3. Yeah, and they were all top ranked at some point, I believe, as well. So North Carolina's a little weird, but I think they end up beating Providence, even though they seem to slip up against teams they should beat.
Well, I think you hit it right on the head. They're very streaky, and you don't know what teams. They kind of remind me of Wisconsin.
I like weird better.
What was that? You like weird better?
I like weird better.
Weird. North Carolina's weird. So Iowa State,
And all I've had today is a Red Bull.
You're going to have a hard time convincing me of that, buddy. It's St. Patrick's Day, and the way you're talking today, what did you put in the Red Bull? That's all I'm going to be saying. Iowa State.
Nothing.
Iowa State, Iowa State, North Carolina Central. Is there any debate?
Iowa State easily.
Yeah, no debate there.
No.
Connecticut a 7, St. Joe's a 10. Where are you going with this one, buddy?
I'm going to go with Connecticut due to them having a little more of a stingy defense. I think Connecticut's defense gives St. Joe's problems. Yeah,
I look at this game, and I like the Connecticut team. I like them at 7. I think they kind of got, I guess, rooked in their seeding because they're going to have to face Villanova or Milwaukee. We haven't made the pick yet in the second round, but I like Connecticut. I think they got a good, solid basketball team this year. Not the high-powered program that they usually have, but I like what they've got going on out there this year. They've had a good, solid year. Brings us to Villanova, Milwaukee. Do the Wisconsin teams, the UW Milwaukee, do they have a chance, Evan, against Villanova?
Yeah, they do. Villanova, in my opinion, nothing special. They have an RPI of 5, but I think Villanova gets the win, but it's going to be a lot closer than most people think. Milwaukee's hot right now, and I think they give Villanova all they can handle. There's always that 1-2-15 matchup where the 15 puts up a fight, and I think this is going to be that one.
Yeah, I hope it's not the Wisconsin-American game. Hope that's not the 2-15 that's a fight game, but we'll get to that one because we're moving right on over to the West. Arizona, Weber State. Any doubt there that Arizona moves on?
I'm going to go Arizona in a blowout.
Yeah, I don't think there's a question there. Brings us to another 8-9. Gonzaga, Oklahoma State, buddy.
Oklahoma State.
Man, I had that one too. I'm not even going to have to debate that one with you. I like Gonzaga, but I think they're down a little bit than they have been in the past, and I like Oklahoma State. I believe
Barnes hungry.
Yeah, I believe they've got a lot, and we'll talk about the second round matchup in a little bit. We'll see if any of us are brave enough to see if they can actually knock off Arizona as we come back around. But Oklahoma, North Dakota State, buddy, where are you going here?
Oklahoma and a nail biter.
I got Oklahoma too. San Diego State, New Mexico State, 4-13 right here.
San Diego State always seems to go into the tournament with high expectations. They normally get in under the radar too. 29-4, no pushover. RPI is 15, strength of schedule 88. They're a decent team, and they always seem to sneak it under the radar. And people think, oh, this is going to be the year, but I think New Mexico State pulls off the upset.
You're going to 13 over a 4, buddy.
Yep.
You know what? I'm not sure in my official bracket where I'm going, but this is one of those games where I thought New Mexico State could do it. So for the network bracket, I will leave the New Mexico State pick there, buddy, because that's one of those games. I always have those, and I don't know how you do your bracket. I go do my automatic ones. Then there's those ones where I'm got to look at and say, hey, this could be an upset. This is one of those games. So I'll put in New Mexico State for the network bracket. Baylor, Nebraska. 6-11, buddy.
I'm going to go in Nebraska. I was thinking Baylor when I woke up this morning, but Nebraska just plays such a stingy defense. I think Baylor's going to have a hard time scoring a lot of points, and I think if Nebraska slows it down, grinds it out, they're going to give Baylor fits, and I think Nebraska pulls off the upset.
I had that one all the way, too. I didn't even think twice about that. When I saw the pairing, I think Nebraska's playing really good basketball right now. I'm not sure how far they're going to go, but I think they knock off Baylor in the first round. Creighton, Lafayette. Any doubt there?
Creighton gets the win.
Oregon, BYU, buddy, 7-10.
I'm going to go BYU.
Man, we can't even disagree on that one. Wisconsin, American.
The only thing that worries me about American is they play, and we talked about this leading up, a style similar to Wisconsin's where they slow it down and grind it out, and that's what Wisconsin tends to have an issue with. But I think Wisconsin's just too deep for American, and Wisconsin gets to win.
Yeah, I think so too, and I think, we look at it, if there's ever a team where they can actually have a drought where the other team may not score a lot, it could be this game. So that's a good matchup for Wisconsin that way. I just definitely couldn't pick against Wisconsin there, 2-15. Wichita State against the play-in Cal Poly, who enters at 13-19 against Texas Southern, 19-14. You taking the round one game, or are you taking Wichita State, buddy?
Wichita State.
Yeah, I got that one too.
Seriously, you can have Cal Poly's the automatic qualifier, but you can have Cal Poly in the tournament, but not UW Green Bay. And get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the way the automatic bids work. It's reality. I put that out on Twitter yesterday. Unfortunately, that's what sucks.
Yeah.
That's what sucks. It sucks big time, but it's reality. Kentucky versus Kansas State, an 8-9, buddy.
Kentucky gets the win. They're playing good basketball right now.
They are playing really good basketball. St. Louis against the play-in North Carolina State or Xavier.
A lot of this depends on who ends up getting that. If it ends up being North Carolina State, I think they upset St. Louis. And with the thought that North Carolina State gets in, I'm going to go North Carolina State.
God, you just took my thunder. You took it all away again.
Yes.
You do it every time. I was at work today.
Disclaimer is, if your wins, then St. Louis is going to win.
Oh, jeez. No, I actually have. I was talking at work today. I think North Carolina State beats Xavier, and then I think North Carolina State turns around and beats St. Louis. I like the St. Louis club, but I think North Carolina State comes in, and I think that would be the first time a play-in team wins, correct? I don't think a play-in team has ever won in this.
Sure.
Yeah, well, we'll have to look into that. Maybe somebody on Twitter that's listening can let us know. I don't think a play-in team has won in what is considered now the second round. But we'll look into that. Louisville, Manhattan, buddy. 4-13. Any doubt?
It's going to be closer. It's going to be closer than people think, but Louisville pull away at the end.
And then we got UMass versus the playing game, Iowa and Tennessee.
Iowa or Tennessee is going to get the victory.
Over Massachusetts.
Yeah, they just don't impress me too much. Yeah, they had a good year, but they don't impress me.
Man, I got in this one I was penciling I have the darn thing to Iowa, buddy. I think Iowa can win. They have the ability to win. They went down the crapper the last month of the season, but they've got some talent on that team. They were playing really strong in the beginning of the Big Ten, and then they just went to the crapper. But maybe they can turn it around. Duke and Mercer, 3 versus 14. Any question there about Duke?
No, Duke.
Texas, Arizona State, 7-10, buddy.
Arizona State.
I have Texas. So what do we want to do for the network? Doesn't matter to me because it doesn't affect the next game. So which way do you want to go in the network challenge? It's for the co-host, buddy. It's for the co-host.
I would say Arizona State.
Okay, we'll go with Arizona State. Michigan, Wofford. Do you think Wofford can give Michigan a game, buddy?
It might be interesting for the first 10, 15 minutes, depending on if Michigan's shooting hot or not. You got a team like Michigan that's just, they're a jump shooting team. They can be cold to start a game, but Michigan will win. Man, you're giving them a lot of credit. I don't even think it's a game for 10 minutes. I think Michigan's just really, really tough. Even though they got manhandled by Michigan State, I think they're a really good team. It's a really good number 2. It's a very good number 2 seed in Michigan. Okay, back to the South quickly. This took up a lot of time, a lot longer than I thought. But Florida, Colorado, where are we going there, buddy? Florida.
Yeah, Florida. VCU, UCLA, where are we going to go here?
UCLA.
Man, I had that one too, so we're cruising right along. Ohio State, Syracuse. Now, I gotta preface this, Evan. I gotta
90 seconds.
We're gonna be doing off live air. My Syracuse picks, they do the opposite of what I say. So where are you going with this one, buddy?
I'm going with Ohio State. Syracuse has been struggling lately.
They have been. I can live with that one on the network. It's one I really got to think about, though, when I do my regular bracket. New Mexico, Kansas. Where are you going here, bud?
60 seconds.
I'm okay there, too. Virginia, George Washington.
Virginia.
Got that one. Harvard, Michigan State. Any question?
Sparty, no question.
Yeah, no question. North Carolina, Iowa State. It's going to be a good one.
Iowa State.
I can live with that one. I'm not sure which way I'm going to go in my bracket, though, my real bracket. Connecticut, Villanova.
Villanova.
Yep, I'm good there, too. Arizona, Oklahoma State, buddy.
Oklahoma State knocks off the number 1 seed, Arizona Wildcats.
I can live with that. That is one where I was thinking could happen. Oklahoma, New Mexico State, bud.
Oklahoma.
I'm okay there. Nebraska, Creighton.
Creighton. Oh, McDermott's just too much.
Yeah, he is.
It's a battle for Nebraska, too.
Yep. BYU, Wisconsin.
Oh, Wisconsin. They get out of Milwaukee with 2 wins.
I believe so, too. And then we'll see what happens against Creighton. That scares me. Wichita State, Kentucky. Is this another number 1 going down?
Yep, Kentucky with the win there.
I had that one, too. Then we've got our round 1 winner.
Kentucky's too big. Kentucky's too big in the middle. They're too big for, I think the Shockers to compete.
I agree with you. I have them going down in round 2. Well, technically round 3 now. So now we got our round 1 winner.
Yeah.
NC State or Xavier or St. Louis or Louisville.
It'll be Louisville regardless of who they play.
And then Duke versus we're thinking it's Iowa, but Duke or Iowa, buddy.
Duke over whoever.
Yeah, I got Duke there.
Duke over whoever they play.
Yeah, I got that too. Arizona State, Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah, I had that one too.
A much closer game than people are going to think.
Yeah, I agree. I can agree there. Then we got now we're getting into the Sweet 16. We've got Florida, UCLA.
Florida.
Ohio State, Kansas.
Kansas. I think Wiggins is too much.
Yep, I have the 1-2 out of the South going to the Elite 8. Virginia, Michigan.
Back too. That's going to be.
Virginia, Michigan State, buddy.
Virginia going home. Sparty with the win.
Got that one. Iowa State, Villanova.
Iowa State.
Whoa! I know we're into iPhone recording. We're not live anymore. I had Villanova. All right. Again, I haven't done it, but how do you want to go with the network? You want to go Villanova? Or you want to go Iowa State? We disagree on this one right now.
You can take this one. Who do you think?
We'll throw Villanova in there, buddy. Well, let me ask you this. I know we're going through, but I have Michigan State winning
13 in its last 14 games, including wins over Kansas State, Kansas, and Baylor. I don't know if that helps you at all, but
really doesn't help me. I guess my reasoning here is I don't care for the fact that I have Michigan State, and so I'll let the cat out of the bag winning the next game. So when I look at it, I mean, I know it counts for the wins, but as far as the overall tournament goes, to me, whoever wins this game is losing the next one. So it's just how we want to go with the network. If we want to go Iowa State or Villanova, it's up to you, buddy.
Yeah, let's go Iowa State.
Okay, Iowa State it is. Oklahoma State, Oklahoma. Since we have Arizona losing in the 3rd round.
Oklahoma.
Taking Oklahoma?
Oklahoma State. Marcus Smart's going to be on it.
Oklahoma State it is. Creighton, Wisconsin.
To Wisconsin. That's a good matchup for Wisconsin because Creighton's got a kind of a fast-paced offense, and Wisconsin tends to do good against those guys.
It scares me. This game scares me. This is the one that I'll probably leave. It's probably the one that'll leave me blank all the way until I have to fill something in. I'll put Wisconsin because we're Wisconsin guys. Since we're Wisconsin guys, I'll put Wisconsin. I'm not sure where I'm going in my bracket yet, though. I have not made a decision on that. Kentucky, Louisville.
Louisville.
That's going to be a good game right there. That's going to be a really good game. Today, I'll pick Louisville. That could change by the time I drive home tonight, though. Like you said, Kentucky is playing really good basketball right now. They're big in the middle. That's going to be a very good game. Duke, Michigan is going to be another good game, too. Where are you going there?
I'll go Duke because Michigan Michigan depends too much on the jump shot. I think it's going to be, Duke's going to be too much for them to handle, especially if the shot's not falling.
Yeah, I can agree with you there. And for the network one, I can go with Duke. My preface is they'll screw me up somehow. So since you picked them, I'll pick them there so we can do well in our network bracket. How about Florida, Kansas, buddy? Now we're in the Elite Eight.
Florida.
Michigan State, Iowa State. You know where I'm going with this one. You going with Michigan State also?
Yeah.
Oklahoma State, Wisconsin.
I'm going to go Wisconsin. I think the biggest threat Oklahoma State has is Smart, and I think Gosser is able to shut down Smart.
We'll go there. And then we've got Louisville and Duke.
Go Louisville.
All right. Florida, Michigan State. That's a tough one.
This is a tough one.
That's a really tough
Florida's
one.
been red hot. They've won 2. One of those games is to Wisconsin, super early in the year. They won 26 in a row. But Michigan State's finally healthy. And it's going to be an interesting matchup. But I think Tom Izzo has his boys poised to go back to the national championship. And I think Michigan State goes.
I can live with that. So, the Wisconsin boys have to now pick Wisconsin-Louisville game.
Louisville.
Yeah, have to go there. I think Louisville is just too much for Wisconsin. It's a good run, but I think it comes to an end there. And then Louisville, Michigan State for the national champion for the Red Light Sports Network Bracket Challenge. And I say that for the listeners. This is not Evan or Troy. It could be, but we have not done our official picks in the bracket yet. This is for the Red Light Sports Network Bracket Challenge. Louisville or Michigan State, buddy?
Michigan State.
Well, I'll go there. And what do we have as the final score tiebreaker? Those listening that are going to join, you do have to put in a final score tiebreaker. Total points.
I have 78 to 73 Michigan State.
What do you have? I had 72-68. But what do you have? 78 what?
78-73.
151 is what we'll go with. And we will now save our bracket. So, the Red Light Sports Network has completed their bracket. For those listening, CBSSports.com, Red Light Sports Network. The password is Ramble. Evan and I will tweet out the link for our bracket challenge. It was a fun show tonight, bud. All we did is talk bracket and pick games. Looks like we're going to disagree on some when we put our individual ones in. But anything else for the listeners? I know you got to get going. Not a lot of time after the show tonight, but you want to fill the listeners in as to what's going to go on tomorrow?
Just going to be Packer Talk / NFL free agency tomorrow. And just so you know, James Jones is a Oakland Raider. Signed a contract with the Raiders today.
We'll talk more about that one tomorrow, buddy. We'll talk more about James Jones going to Oakland tomorrow and if that's going to be a good fit for him. Definitely, I've got an opinion already, but I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag tonight on Monday. But with that said, everyone, we're also going to have Kevin Cunningham back on the show this week because University of Wisconsin Whitewater Warhawks, men and women, both have made the Final Four in the NCAA Division III men's and women's basketball tournament. We're going to try to have him on Wednesday. So tomorrow is Packer Talk free agency. Wednesday will be Kevin Cunningham. Thursday is definitely going to be NCAA basketball preview. With that said, everyone, we will see you at the next red light. We will get back at you tomorrow. Enjoy your evening, everyone.